Welcome, I'm Tom, joined by Rich and Oli for another squad profile for the 100 cricket tournament. On this episode, it's the turn of the Welsh Fire women. And if you want to know what persuaded the legendary Sarah Taylor to come out of retirement and why Katie George might just be England cricket's next Katherine Brunt, then stick with us here at the 100 Club. Rich, Oli, welcome back. Hope you're doing well. All good?
Very well, thanks. Yeah, and you?
Yeah, not too bad. It's been another busy weekend in the cricketing calendar, but I thought maybe we'll just crack straight on with this one because I think there's quite a lot to talk about the Welsh Fire. What do you think about their squad on paper, Rich? Do you think this is a strong one?
Yeah, it looks a reasonable side. I think they pulled off a bit of a coup, getting Sarah Taylor back out of retirement, topped off with some good players from Australia, South Africa. It looks a useful squad. The backbone, of course, from the Western Storm outfit that have been strong in domestic cricket over the last few years. Expecting good things.
Yeah, and you're going to be picking it apart today, Oli, as the selector. So, I mean, have you done a lot of looking into them, or are you just going to take our word for it?
Well, you guys are going to have to put up some good arguments to get your players into the 11. I'm kind of taking on the role of Mark O'Leary, who's their coach. He's the head coach of the Western Storm. Previously been their bowling coach, but they've kind of had to draft him in, kind of promote him up the order because originally they were planning to have Matthew Mott, the Australian national coach. He was penciled in to be head coach, and he's just another person that has been, unfortunately. Not struck down by COVID, but hopefully he's actually fitted well. But because of the travel, challenges, he's not going to be coming over. So they've got sort of a bit of an about turn. They've gone from bringing in an overseas big name coach to instead actually going local. And Mark O'Leary's he said has been the coach of the Western Storm. They've been successful domestically, as you said, Rich. And his background is much more in university cricket. So he's kind of been head coach for the Cardiff MCCU.
I was going to say, was it Cardiff? Yeah.
Yeah. So
makes sense.
It's a setup actually that's produced some of the current men's international setup. So you've got Jack Leach, Rory Burns. They've both come through that university setup. So he's been a sort of recognised coach within England for a while. He was coach of the year back in 2018. So he's kind of got a good track record of bringing through youngsters, and getting them into kind of professional standard cricket. So be interesting to see if the 11s that you two put together is packed with young blood, or whether you've gone for some of the older pros.
This is a good point, Oli. I mean, because like most of these squads on the women's side, particularly, one, it's geographic, Western Storm, Cardiff, sure, but also quite a lot of younger team members. Have you picked one out on this occasion, Rich?
Yeah, I think there's an obvious one to go for in terms of the young guns in the Welsh Fire, and particularly those looking to impress in this tournament. And you mentioned her in the intro. Katie George is a young English all-rounder, 22 years old, left arm quick, big hitting, low order batter as well. Her career to date has been blighted by injury, unfortunately. She's had sort of back problems over the last few years. She made her international debut at the age of 18, playing against Australia in the World T20, having already taken a hat-trick against India A on the same tour. Nice. And she was sort of a multi-sports star growing up. She played England football at age group level and was on the books at Portsmouth for a couple of years, but decided to pursue cricket. You mentioned she sort of models her game on Katherine Brunt, and that's sort of the best way to describe her in that respect. Very competitive, fast bowler, and very adept batter as well. She has a central contract, and she has an aim to get herself back in the England side. Real burning desire to play red ball cricket as well. In the next Ashes series when they'll play that test against Australia, and she sees the 100 as very much a sort of a jumping off point to get into that side. She's been playing for the Western Storm in the Rachel Heo and the Charlotte Edwards Cup, but because she's coming back from injury, she hasn't been bowling. She's just been batting only. But I think we're going to be seeing her, in both disciplines as we get into the 100. And I think it's going to be exciting to see because I think she could be a real star of the tournament.
Yeah, and I mean she's what's it, 2 one-day internationals, 5 T20s, I think she's appeared in so far. So, as you say, it's been a bit patchy over 4 years. That's not a huge number. But I think with any left-arm bowler, that is a variety, a different sort of attack angle that's going to be welcomed by any team, yeah?
Well, you're only looking at a bowling, a maximum of 20 balls in a game. So if she's worried about, having to conserve her bowling, then she can just go in little bursts in this competition. So it should be a good chance for her to get back and do some bowling again.
Let's hope so.
Well, yeah, and I suppose you can have periods out of the game and then come back in and still have great effect. And I suppose that leads me to my star player, which I don't think anyone will be surprised, is Sarah Taylor. It's still quite surprising to me that Sarah Taylor's only 32, pretty youthful. And it was in September 2019 that she stepped away from the game, having had a few patches in the prior years to that as well, where she'd had breaks due to anxiety and mental health issues. It was rumoured for a while that she might be considering coming back into the game. It's the Welsh Fire offer of playing in the 100 that has led to that. She's also, though, played for the Northern Diamonds this season, played a bit for Sussex in the county game, and also actually has been coaching Sussex men and as a wicketkeeper coach there as well. So that's a real sort of breakthrough, and it just typical of her and her sort of groundbreaking career over the past 10, 15 years. I mean, you must all have seen the highlight reels, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty incredible. I mean, 2018, I think it was Adam Gilchrist calling her the best wicketkeeper in the game, male or female. You can dissect it, and I'm no wicketkeeper, but you can just see the intelligence of the game, the way she moves around the crease, both as a batter and as a wicketkeeper. She just knows what's going on, and so quick with the hands. Again, with the bat in the hand or the gloves.
She has 51 stumpings in 90 games in Women's T20 International, which is an incredible rate. I think anyone gets close to that as a stumping rate. It shows how good she is.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the stuff down the leg side as well. And there's an amazing catch, I think, from one of the England games where it's predicting the reverse sweep from the batter and just moving early and still getting it at full length off to her right-hand side. So incredible stuff. I mean, the other point is the batting. And there's some impressive numbers there. 29 is the average in the Women's T20 Internationals, 16 50s, over 2,100 runs in total. So she's done it all. What's she going to prove in the 100, I suppose?
Well, I think it's a chance to play on a bigger stage in terms of the television audience. You'd be playing at all the biggest grounds in the country. Fingers crossed, people get behind it. And I think as cricket fans, we're aware of her and know how good her body of work is. But hopefully, more the casual fan will become aware of just how good Sarah Taylor is through this tournament.
Yeah, and hopefully, a lot of people will be going to games. A lot of double headers to these fixtures. So, as you say, there might be some fans that go to games having bought a ticket off the strength of the men's game, perhaps. But if they get to see her perform in the first game, then kind of. You'd hopefully open the door, to kind of more interest, I think, in the women's game. Just to actually show the skill sets.
Yeah, and she's not in bad nick either. I mean, Northern Diamonds, I think on the 2nd of July, so just about 10 days ago, got a 43 not out in 35 balls. So absolutely hoping it carries through. I mean, you say about ticket sales. I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of the ticket sales have been driven by her alone. She's got that star quality. For me, I mean, I really, really want to see her play. I mean, and it's a lot of the Welsh Fire games, actually, the home games, a couple of them are now sold out. So they're doing all right in that side. Yes, it's a smaller ground, but they are certainly getting them to the turnstiles. I have got in a batting runner, quite obviously, but not opening. Do you want to have a go at an opening batting pair, Rich?
Yeah, I've gone for Georgia Redmayne and Sophie Luff as my openers.
So Georgia Redmayne's the Australian?
Yeah, Georgia Redmayne, the Australian all-rounder. She's opened the batting a fair bit in the Women's Big Bash. And Sophie Luff is associated with, I think she's on the coaching staff at Somerset, actually. She's involved in sort of community outreach there. But she opens for the Western Storm, and she's in reasonable nick at the minute. Seems to be going at a decent rate. So I thought I'll stick those two up at the top.
I suspect that might be. I think you might be sort of playing to the. If I had my Mark O'Leary hat on, a selector. I think Sophie loves a player that Mark O'Leary's kind of. I think has brought through and kind of worked with for many years. So I think I suspect that he will have her up the top of the order.
Yeah. Well, I haven't. I've got her in at 3,
Mr. Contrary.
Well, no, it's not to be contrary. I've got her in at 3, and she is, very good. She's, I think, the Western Storm captain as well, so certainly involved in that sense. Strike rate 112, but I wanted George Hennessy as the other opening batter there. So that's an English youngster, 24, and she's averaging over 25 at the moment. Also got a decent option at right-hand fast as well, and opens for the Western Storm. So that was my thinking there. Practiced opening bat, whereas I think Luff often bats down a couple for the Western Storm. So I've got Redmayne and Hennessy opening up.
Okay.
Don't know.
Made a reasonable case for that.
I had Bryony Smith coming in at 3. She's another youngster, only 23, but actually captains the Southeast Stars, and again has sort of been reasonable nick in the Charlotte Edwards Cup, and bowls a bit as well. So I thought again go with somebody who's used to batting up at the top of the order at that point, and then Sarah Taylor can come in at a preferred position at number 4.
I've got Taylor at 4. Have I missed something with Smith? I might have completely missed it in the stats. Have I absolutely missed this? Because yes, I got that she she hits it around a bit, but I had it down at 9. What am I doing?
It's always that issue, isn't it? That sometimes when batting orders can be quite flexible, and you see some people coming in at 8 one week and then up the order the next. I'd seen at the weekend she was batting at 3 for the Southeast Stars, so that's why I had her up there.
Okay. She's got 3 T20 international caps already in an ODI. I had spotted that much, but I thought she was much more of a right-handed off-break bowler. I apologise.
Have you been done by the fact she's pictured bowling on the website?
It's possible. I might have been thrown by the Henwood website. 90% of the teams have got a few mistakes sprinkled in there as well, in terms of their descriptions.
I think they just put in there just so that you can call out the Jolly Come Lately fans who are just looking at the website.
What are you calling me? Okay, what do you want in your batting lineup, Ollie? Let's move on.
I think I certainly want Sarah Taylor at 4. I think I'm a big believer in letting your best player at bat in the position at which they're most comfortable. England Test selectors make note. So I'm going to put Sarah Taylor at 4. I probably then go Smith and then Luff. So Smith, Taylor, Luff as my sort of middle order.
Well, I can pitch you somebody a bit different. And I was umming and ahhing about where to bat Sune Luus. She is the South African T20 captain. She started off mostly as a bowler, but has developed into a batting all-rounder. It's quite an interesting story. She started bowling leg spin because she went to a cricket camp where Jacques Rudolph, the South African Test batsman and former Glamorgan stalwart as well, and Yorkshire I think as well, suggested to her to have a go at leg spin, and she taught herself to bowl leg spin by watching Shane Warne on TV rather than actively coached. But
I tried that rather unsuccessfully, but.
I'm still trying. I'm holding a cricket ball right now, trying to bowl leg breaks under the table, and I can't do it.
Well, she's obviously a decent study because she figured out how to do it. She's only the 10th woman to score 1,000 runs and 100 wickets in one-day internationals, and she's played 70-odd T20 internationals and has 47 wickets. But they tried bumping her up the order a couple of years back against Australia, and she basically repaid their faith with 3 half centuries at the top of the order. So if you can score half centuries against Australia, then you can probably handle the bat. But she does bat for 5 for South Africa, so that might be her most comfortable position. But Mark O'Leary might decide to bump her up a spot or 2.
Can we put Bryony Smith back down at 9 then?
I wonder how she goes, because we've talked sometimes about whether there's certain players that you might have down the lineup, thinking, if a wicket goes in the power play, do you want to bump them up for a bit more hitting power? To make use of the short power play. So perhaps she's maybe in that category.
And Dan Weston was talking about that in our interview with him, of course, data insights manager at the Birmingham Phoenix, talking about positional batting. You're not getting that luxury though, Ollie. Where do you want
to? Well, I'm going to put her at 6 because that's how we've got her on screen. I don't want to tax your tax your skills too much.
Yeah, I've clearly had the week off anyway.
I'll give you. Who else have you got?
Okay, I've got Lissy McLeod up next. Lissy McLeod, actually, fairly recent addition to the squad. So recent that they haven't done the mock-up picture yet. Again, right-hand off breaks, but bats pretty well. She's averaging about 20 for 1,200 runs across her career so far, and bats for the Sunrisers at 5. So happy in the middle order, no problem in there, and would add a decent bit of depth. But I think a bowling option as well with the right-hand off breaks. And I think most of the women's teams, we've said this before, are going to have a spin dominant attack. And I think there's a bit to be said for that at Sophia Gardens as well in particular. So if you know the ground, it's got very short, straight boundaries. So you really do need to have options. If something's not working and someone's taking you to town, you need to have a few good options for bowling, and I think they'll want 7 probably who can turn their arm over.
Yeah, I mean, it tends to be a feature of the women's game that you do tend to get more all-rounders than perhaps the men's version. So more optionality there. Yeah. Lissy McLeod didn't make my 11. Yeah, call me a traitor, but I actually had an Australian coming in next, and that's Pippa Cleary, who plays for Western Australia, but has come over here for a little while. I think she's the partner of Amy Jones, if I'm not incorrect. And
their dog is called Tun, I think.
Tun. That's good. Yeah. Good a name as any. She's been playing for the Lightning domestically this year. Kind of a bowling all-rounder. I think she's a good shout at 7. And then I would follow up by having Katie George coming in after her, sort of to bolster my middle order.
Okay, I had Cleary actually down at 11.
Sorry. Strong. All the way down then, clearly in your 11.
Yeah. Again, the 100 website has got her down as a bowler only. I think, the batting is unproven for me, so I'm not seeing it necessarily. The Katie George, on the other hand, has definitely got some ability to hit a long ball, and 2 ODIs, 5 T20 international caps, as we said, and I just think she's a better batter.
To be fair to Tom, the other night in the T20 international, Maddie Villiers came in at 10 for England, and she's been batting at 4 in the domestic competition. So, it is tough once you get into these more concentrated squads and you start throwing the centrally contracted players and the overseas stars in.
Well, can I throw another name in then, which is Alex Griffiths, who's definitely a batting possibility, and I think it hit 80 just a couple of weeks ago for the Western Storm, coming in at 6. That was in an ODI, but there's capability there, and I've got her in at 8 on my team, not 10 as we currently are.
There's a great concentration of players coming in between 5 and 6. I think we've got 4 people.
I'm glad you're laughing. You've got to sort this out in a minute.
No.
See, I didn't have Griffiths in my 11. I had Bethan Ellis coming in next, the young English all-rounder, medium pace bowler.
Let me guess, she's also at 6.
I don't have her in my team, actually.
I had her coming in at 9. But,
when this wicket goes down, there's going to be batters coming in from all corners of the pitch.
I had her down. She's only 22. I think she might be a bit more of a development option. But I think she might have done some England Academy work, but hasn't really got broken through yet. Maybe that's a bit harsh. There's one more I do think we definitely need to throw into the mix. Definitely need to do to put in there, which is Nicole Harvey for me, actually.
I agree with that. The Cornish woman.
Yep. And again, can bat and can bowl a bit. So bowls a leg break with a pretty decent googly. Again, so good variety in there as a bowling option. And has actually got the second highest number of wickets of all time in the county game. So doing well, in good form for the Western Storm. I think, I had her at 10. So if you can cut out a few above that, that'd be perfect.
I had Lauren Filer coming in at 11. She averages 6. She averages 6 with the bat. So finally a comfortable number 11.
We've got someone making a case for batting 11 for last.
But averages 20 with the ball. 8 wickets in 12 T20 games, and brings a different option in terms of pace bowling, which I know you're a big fan of, Ollie. You like a variety in bowling lineups.
Yeah, so let's have a little look.
Are we agreeing that neither Natasha Wraith or Amy Gordon are making it at this point? I mean, they're youngsters, 19 years old each. I mean, are you leaving them on the bench?
Yeah, even though they both have a lot of potential, and I could see them maybe getting a game or two. But I think for the minute, given we've already got 13 up there, let's say that they. I think for Natasha Wraith, who's a 19-year-old keeper batter, it's just going to be an amazing kind of experience playing alongside Sarah Taylor and Georgia Redmayne. So I think experience for her, but maybe she'll get the odd game as a specialist.
Yeah. Okay.
Right. So let's think a little bit about the makeup of our bowling attack then. So we've got our quick, we've got our leggy. How else are we deciding between our bowling options?
Well, I think Bryony Smith is definitely bowling as much of the complement as possible. Sune Luus is going to bowl as much as possible. If we're agreeing on Nicole Harvey, there's 3 absolutely in the bowling lineup. But I do think you need at least another 3 in there. I don't know. I mean, I didn't have either Filer or Ellis, and you didn't have Lissy McLeod or Alex Griffiths, was it?
That's right, yeah.
So there's your 4 on the chopping block.
Well, maybe we'll take Lissy McLeod out then for now. We're still a couple over.
I guess maybe you then say maybe Bethan Ellis is surplus.
Yeah, maybe she comes out and we get a little bit closer to an 11.
She's more of a pace bowler. I think we've got a bit of that in there already. So how about that then? How's that looking for you, Rich?
I think
that's looking a bit more like it, isn't it?
I think that's looking a pretty useful side, actually.
Yeah, for me, that is a good side. I think when we're discussing it like this and making, minor changes, actually with good quality throughout the squad, you can say that they've got the variety, they've got the depth, I think, that some of the other squads maybe haven't got.
Yeah, when we can drop people in and out and sort of think, well, actually, we're potentially making the squad, the side stronger, then it suggests that kind of there's going to be options from the bench if they kind of want to do different things for different pitches or different matchups, even against different batting lineups. So
yeah, I mean, I'm really looking forward to seeing Sune Luus, and I wouldn't be surprised to see her right up in the top 3 as well with a bat. So we'll see, because I think that's a difference maker. We've got Sarah Taylor, who's definitely a difference maker. I mean, we'll see how it gets on. Any other sort of final comments on that sort of lineup as we see it?
No, looks a decent outfit.
Looks a good outfit.
To see them play.
Yeah, and they are going to be playing, as we know, in Cardiff. The question I think will be is are they going to challenge? Who do we think are the strongest team we've seen so far? Maybe the Southern Brave, maybe the Trent Rockets. I couldn't quite remember.
That's an interesting one, because the Southern Brave are their local rival, aren't they, in the pair-up? So they'll play each other home and away. So it could be the outcome of those two games going to makes the difference on where they finish.
I'd call it a 6-pointer, but it will actually be for 6 points, or the cricketing equivalent, if we ever find out how many points you get for a win. Yeah. Okay, so we'll give them their best shot. Does anyone have to hand when their first game is?
I think they're on the Friday.
Friday. Okay, which would be then on the 23rd of July. As I said before, on the preview of the TV schedules video, which if you haven't caught it, is up now. Oh, hello.
Rich has
That's
got
very
some
smart.
merch to use.
They
We
are
laminated it.
They're playing on the 24th against the Northern Superchargers.
Thank you. What is that? What is that bit of kit you got there?
This is Topps Cricket Attacks, and they made a game for the 100, which is a bit of fun. So this is very I haven't bought trading cards for about 30 years, but if I can get them in front of the camera. So you've got these various cards. Who we got there? Josh Cobb. Who's that?
There's Ollie Pope upside
Ollie
down.
Pope. Yeah, we'll talk about that in a minute.
Yeah.
And and then you have scores for them, batting and bowling, and there's actually sort of a game you can play, which is sort of you come with it's upside down.
Oops. Oop.
There you go. You've got a pitch.
Okay.
And bit of fun.
Well,
I like it.
If you viewers, if you want to see us play a game of this,
Let us know.
let us know. Comment below.
Live.
Yeah. Or if you'd like to be Rich's friend, so he's got some friends to play it with.
Absolutely, yeah. Please get in touch.
Can you do a postal version?
I think where are they selling those anyway? Have you had to mail away for?
I got mine from Uncle Jeff, but
Okay. I won't ask.
Yeah, chance to give a big shout out to your local newsagent.
Okay. Well, sounds a lot of fun.
Feet.
Don't use them for research, though. You're not allowed to cheat and get the scores off the cards. You've done a better job than me. I think we can agree that on that this week, though. I've disgraced myself with my disrespect for Bryony Smith, but you've helped me a lot, and I've learned a lot with the Welsh Fire. So thank you very much for joining us. Next up will be the men's squad. So do give us a like, a comment, and a subscribe, and we'll be back on for the 100 Club Welsh Fire Men next time.
Cheers.
Cheers.